Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive deep into AI agents?
Absolutely.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at their impact on businesses. I mean, these aren't just like those simple digital assistants everyone's used to. We're talking about software with some serious AI muscle behind it, using, large language models, LLMs, to really tackle some complex business tasks. And the reason you should all care is because this technology is on a fast track to changing how companies work, period. Everything from customer service to like high-level finance stuff, right?
Yeah, it really is fascinating to see this tech move so quickly from research labs straight into the real world. And Microsoft, with their Copilot Studio platform, they're really dominating this space right now.
Dominating, huh? Our sources are saying it's pretty intense. Over 100,000 organizations have already jumped on board with Copilot Studio. And it hasn't even been out that long. That's a crazy fast adoption rate for something this new. So what's the secret to Microsoft's success here?
Well, a big part of it is that they're really focused on what businesses actually need. So for one thing, their platform integrates with over 1,400 existing enterprise systems and data sources.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Right, we're talking big names,
Yeah.
SAP, ServiceNow, even regular SQL databases.
So companies can actually use AI agents with the tools they already have.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, no need to rip and replace their whole system.
It's like they're bridging the gap between AI's future and like today's business reality.
Yeah.
But it's not just about connections, is it? I'm seeing these pre-built agents mentioned too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Microsoft offers 10 pre-built autonomous agents for those common business tasks, things like sales, service, finance, and supply chain management.
Makes it much easier to get started then, right?
Exactly. Even for companies without huge AI development teams, they can, just plug and play. Start automating those everyday tasks right away.
And we're seeing the real-world impact of this already. I was reading about McKinsey, the consulting giant. They used AI agents to cut their project intake workflows from, get this, 20 days down to just 2. That's wild.
Yeah.
And then Pets at Home, a UK retailer, they implemented fraud prevention agents in under 2 weeks
Yeah.
and are saving millions of dollars annually because of it. So we're not just talking hypotheticals here.
No, this is happening now.
This is happening now.
And what's interesting about the McKinsey case is that they didn't just throw AI at the problem. They really thought about their existing workflow and found the specific bottlenecks an AI agent could actually fix.
So it's all about using the tech intelligently, not just using it.
Exactly.
Now, one of the most interesting things I read about was this idea of an agent mesh, like this vision of the future, where all of these AI agents are actually talking to each other, working together across a whole company. Imagine a sales agent triggers an inventory check, which then tells a customer service agent to update a client, all happening automatically.
Wow.
That's it.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You think about it, the agent mesh could actually break down those information silos so many companies struggle with. You know how departments often work in isolation?
Yeah.
With an agent mesh, AI agents could be that connective tissue, constantly sharing info, collaborating in ways we haven't seen before.
Okay, but let's be real. Microsoft isn't playing this game alone, right?
Of course not.
There are others trying to get a piece of that AI pie.
Definitely. You've got other big tech companies like Salesforce and ServiceNow. They're developing their own AI agent platforms. Salesforce claims their Agent Force platform has already been used to build over 10,000 agents, and ServiceNow is also making progress with their ServiceNow agent.
So there's a lot of competition then.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got players like OpenAI focusing on their API, and LangChain with their developer-centric framework. It's a really diverse landscape.
So we've got this huge potential for AI agents to revolutionize how businesses work.
Yeah.
But as with any new tech, there are going to be some bumps in the road. What are some of the concerns people are raising?
Well, one of the biggest challenges, especially since this tech is so young, is the potential for what we call hallucinations. This is where those large language models powering the agents start generating incorrect information, or sometimes just nonsensical stuff.
Right, that could cause some serious issues if an agent is making decisions based on bad data.
Absolutely. Companies need to be very careful about managing and monitoring their AI agents to prevent those scenarios.
So a healthy dose of caution is needed alongside all this excitement. But let's go back to something you mentioned earlier about Microsoft really focusing on meeting the specific needs of businesses. Can you talk a bit more about that? What sets them apart?
Well, one thing they've really done well is their commitment to a comprehensive platform. They've addressed those practical concerns about how businesses will actually use these agents.
Like what?
Well, like building in strong security features
Yeah.
and governance features
Right.
right into the platform's core architecture.
Okay, so they're really thinking about the security of the data.
Yeah, this is so important for companies, especially those dealing with sensitive data. No one wants a data breach just because they're trying to automate a few tasks.
Makes sense. They've also been really good about accessibility, haven't they?
Exactly. They've got these low-code tools and pre-built templates for people without a deep technical background.
So you don't have to be a coding whiz to use it.
Right, but they also offer those pro-code SDKs. For developers who want to do some custom work, it's that inclusivity that's driving their fast adoption rate.
Okay, that's really interesting. But what about the elephant in the room? Pricing. AI can be pretty expensive. How does Microsoft's pricing model for Copilot Studio compare to others?
That's actually a key differentiator. Instead of charging per token, like most AI providers do, Microsoft charges based on the number of messages exchanged between agents and users.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a shift away from focusing on raw compute power and towards focusing on business outcomes.
So you're paying for tangible results, not just the privilege of using AI.
Yeah.
Sounds like Microsoft is serious about making AI affordable.
Absolutely. And I think that approach is crucial for AI agents, for them to be successful in the enterprise long term. It's not enough to have cool tech. You have to make it practical, affordable, and easy to use for businesses to really embrace it.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Microsoft's role in all of this, but this is a fast-moving field.
Mhm.
How long can they hold on to their lead? Are they going to be the AI agent king forever? Or should we expect some serious competition to pop up?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? While Microsoft is in a great position right now, the AI landscape is constantly changing. New players are coming out of the woodwork all the time, and existing companies are always innovating and improving.
So it's not over yet.
Not even close. It's going to be fascinating to see how things develop over the next few years. We could see some unexpected partnerships, maybe even some underdog stories.
Exciting.
But one thing's for sure, AI agents are here to stay, and they're going to have a huge impact on how we work and live.
And that brings us to our next topic. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about those broader implications of AI agents. One of our sources had this mind-blowing picture of the future where AI agents are as common as the internet is today.
Mm.
Imagine every business, every organization, even every single person
Yeah.
has a team of AI agents working for them, handling tasks, giving information, making life easier.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a scenario that's not as crazy as it sounds. We're already seeing the early stages of it with virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa. But as AI agents get more sophisticated, their potential uses will just explode.
Imagine an AI agent that manages your personal finances or books your travel or helps you plan your career.
Right.
It's amazing and a little daunting at the same time.
Definitely.
What happens to human workers in a world like that? Are we all just going to be managing teams of AI?
That's a really valid concern, and it's something we need to be discussing. The rise of AI is going to disrupt the job market, for sure. Some jobs will become obsolete, others will be totally transformed.
So should we be panicking?
Panic is never the answer. What we need to do is adapt and prepare. We need to be developing the skills and knowledge that will be in high demand in this AI-driven world.
So embrace lifelong learning, be okay with change, and be willing to constantly upgrade our skills. That's great advice. But it's not just individual workers who need to adapt, right?
No.
Businesses need to get on board too.
Absolutely. Companies need to think strategically about how to use AI agents to improve their operations, enhance their customer experience, gain a competitive edge.
All right, so we've talked about how AI agents could transform both our personal and professional lives. But let's get practical for a minute. What are some of the challenges businesses are facing right now when they try to actually implement these agents? One of our sources mentioned concerns about Copilot's pricing and some implementation challenges. What can you tell us about that?
Well, even though Microsoft has made their platform very accessible, there are still some real-world obstacles. Cost is a big one. Even though their pricing model is meant to be transparent, it can still be a big investment for some companies, especially smaller ones with tighter budgets. And then there's the implementation side. Integrating AI agents into existing workflows can be complex and time-consuming.
So it's not as easy as just flipping a switch.
I wish it were. It takes planning, technical expertise, and often some customization to make sure those agents are working smoothly with existing business processes and goals.
So it takes a strategic approach,
Yeah.
a commitment to change,
Yeah.
and a willingness to invest the necessary resources. But for those who do, the payoff can be huge.
Exactly. And it's important to remember, AI is a field that's always evolving. What seems challenging today might be much simpler in the near future. Microsoft and other companies are working hard to improve their platforms, make them more user-friendly.
Okay, so we've talked about the excitement, the
Yeah.
potential,
Yeah.
and the challenges of AI agents. So for those ready to jump in, what are some practical first steps?
Well, first, I'd recommend doing your research. Get familiar with the different AI agent platforms out there. We've talked a lot about Microsoft today. But there are other options worth looking into. Once you have a good understanding of what's available, start thinking about specific ways you could use them in your own business or industry.
So figure out where AI agents could automate things, improve efficiency, enhance the customer experience.
Right. Basically, identify your pain points and see if AI agents might have solutions.
And you don't have to go all in right away, right?
No, not at all. It's best to start small, choose a pilot project, set realistic goals, and learn as you go.
That's great advice. But not every company has a team of AI experts.
Yeah.
What about those businesses that need a bit more hand-holding?
Well, that's where all those consulting firms and service providers come in. There's a whole ecosystem popping up that specializes in AI agent implementation.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, they can help assess your needs, develop a strategy, build and deploy those agents, and provide ongoing support.
So there's help out there for everyone, from those tech-savvy early adopters to those who are a bit more cautious.
Exactly. The key is to find a solution that works for you and that you're comfortable with.
Okay, so we've talked about the business side of things, but what about the impact on individuals? How do you see AI agents changing how we live our lives?
I think the potential is huge. We've already talked about AI agents managing our finances, booking travel, even helping with our careers, but I think they can also enhance our creativity,
Yeah.
our learning, even our overall well-being.
Give me an example. How could an AI agent boost someone's creativity?
Well, imagine an AI agent that analyzes your writing style, your artistic preferences, or even your musical taste. It could suggest new ideas, connect you with other creative people who share your interests, maybe even help you create original content.
It's like having a personal muse right at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just one example. I think AI agents have the power to unlock human potential in ways we're only just starting to imagine.
We've talked about the good side, but we can't forget about the risks and challenges. We've already mentioned potential misuse and job displacement. Are there any other concerns we should be aware of?
One issue that's really important is the potential for AI agents to make existing inequalities worse. If we're not careful, they could reinforce societal biases and further marginalize groups that are already disadvantaged.
That's a serious problem.
It is.
What can we do to stop that from happening?
We need to prioritize diversity and inclusion in every single stage of AI development. From data collection and model training to deployment and evaluation,
Well-
we need to create AI agents that are fair, equitable, and accessible to everyone.
So it's not just about building sophisticated AI agents. It's about building ones that reflect our values and help create a more just and equitable society.
Exactly. Technology should be a force for progress, not division.
Well said. Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits, the potential risks, and the ethical considerations. But let's bring it back to the present. For people who are ready to try this technology out, what are some practical things they can do?
Well, I'd say first, do your research. Become familiar with the different platforms out there. Like we discussed, Microsoft is a major player, but there are others too. Once you have a good understanding of the landscape, think about specific use cases within your own business or industry.
So pinpoint where AI agents could automate tasks, improve efficiency, or enhance the customer experience.
Right.
Basically, find those areas where AI agents could offer solutions.
Exactly.
And you don't have to do everything at once. You can start with a pilot project, set some realistic goals, and learn as you go.
That's a great approach.
But let's be real, not every company has those internal technical experts. To build and deploy AI agents from scratch, what about those companies that need some help?
Well, luckily, there are a lot of consulting firms and service providers who specialize in AI agent implementation.
That makes sense.
They can guide you through the whole process, from assessing your needs to crafting a strategy, building and deploying those agents, and even providing ongoing support.
So there's a whole support system out there.
There is.
You don't have to go it alone.
Nope.
There are experts who can help you every step of the way.
That's right.
This has been a fantastic overview of the AI agent world. We've covered a lot, but there's still so much more to explore. So join us next time as we continue our journey into this fascinating and rapidly evolving world.
It's kind of interesting, if you look back in history, you see the same anxiety around big technological shifts. Like, think about the Industrial Revolution, all that fear about machines replacing
Oh,
jobs.
yeah. People were freaking out.
Right. And sure, some jobs were lost, but it also created a whole bunch of new industries and professions. We went from like an agricultural society to an industrial one, and that caused massive changes, both economically and socially.
It's not a perfect comparison,
Yeah.
but it does show that new technology often brings opportunities we don't expect.
Absolutely. It's not just about jobs disappearing. It's about new ones being born, ones we can't even imagine right now. I mean, a few decades ago, who would have predicted social media managers?
True. Or app developers or like drone pilots.
Exactly. So this AI revolution is probably going to bring its own wave of new jobs.
So for all those business leaders out there listening, what advice would you give them? How should they be preparing for this AI-powered future?
Well, first and foremost, educate yourself. Really learn about the tech, what AI agents can do, what they can't do, and how they could be used in your specific industry. Then, don't be afraid to experiment a bit. Try out some different AI agent solutions. Start with small projects where you can easily see the results and learn from them.
So like a crawl, walk, run approach.
Exactly. No need to dive in head first, get comfortable first, then scale up.
It makes sense.
Right.
But realistically, not every company has the resources or the experts in-house to build their own AI agents.
Right.
What options do those businesses have?
Well, that's where companies like Microsoft come in, with platforms like Copilot Studio. They're making it much easier for any business to use AI agents. They offer those pre-built agents we talked about for like common business functions, plus they have low-code tools. So even people who aren't tech wizards can create and use agents.
So there are options for everyone,
Hmm.
from those early adopters to the folks who are a bit more hesitant.
Absolutely. The most important thing is to find the right solution for your needs, something you're comfortable with.
Okay, so we've discussed the impact on businesses, but what about individuals? How do you see AI agents changing the way we live?
The potential is huge, in my opinion. We've talked about AI agents managing our finances, booking trips, even helping with our careers. But I think they could also change the way we learn and create things, even improve our overall well-being.
Can you give us an example? How could an AI agent like boost someone's creativity?
Okay, well, picture this. An AI agent analyzes your writing style or your artistic preferences, your taste in music, whatever. And then it suggests new ideas for you. Maybe connects you with other creative people who like the same things. It could even help you create original content.
Whoa, that's like having a personal brainstorming buddy.
Exactly. A muse on demand. And that's just one example. The possibilities are endless, really. I truly believe AI agents can unlock human potential in amazing ways.
So we've seen the potential benefits, the exciting possibilities, but we also need to address the challenges. What can businesses and individuals do to make sure AI agents are used responsibly and ethically?
Transparency is key. Businesses need to be open about how they're using AI agents and what data they're collecting. Individuals need to know how their data is being used and be able to control it.
So it's about building trust.
Right, a culture of openness and accountability. Education is also crucial. Both businesses and individuals need to understand AI better, what it can do, what it can't do. That knowledge will help us make better decisions about how we develop and use AI agents.
You're right, knowledge is power, especially with all this new tech.
And we also need to be having these conversations about the impact of AI on society as a whole. We need to think about the consequences, good and bad, and create policies and guidelines to make sure AI is used for good and benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Couldn't agree more.
And remember, technology is just a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely and ethically.
That's a great point.
Mm.
Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. From Microsoft's role in the AI agent world to the potential impact on jobs and the importance of responsible AI development. But before we move on, I want to go back to that agent mesh idea. You explained how it could work in retail. Can you give another example, maybe in a different industry, just to show how powerful this network of AI agents could be?
Sure, let's think about healthcare. Imagine a patient goes to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor's AI agent has access to the patient's medical history and all their real-time health data from wearables, and it notices a potential problem. So it contacts a specialized diagnostic AI agent, which analyzes the data and suggests some tests. The results from those tests are then shared with the doctor's AI agent. and a treatment planning AI agent. And that agent works with a whole network of other agents, representing specialists, pharmacists, even insurance companies, to come up with a personalized treatment plan for the patient.
That's amazing. So much more efficient and personalized.
Exactly. And this is just one scenario. There are so many potential uses for the agent mesh.
It's like a web of AI working behind the scenes to make our lives easier.
That's a great way to put it. And the best part is, we wouldn't even necessarily know all this is happening. It would all be happening in the background, making things simpler without us having to think about it.
That's incredible. But it also raises some questions about privacy. If AI agents are always collecting and sharing data about us, how do we know our information is safe? And who's really in control of these agents and their decisions?
These are really important questions, and they highlight why we need clear rules and guidelines
Right.
for AI agent development. We need to make sure people have control over their own data and that AI agents respect our privacy and freedom.
So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about the social and ethical frameworks we build around it.
Exactly. We need to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
This has been a fantastic conversation. We've explored so much. The potential of AI agents, the challenges, the ethical considerations. But there's still more to discuss, so join us next time as we wrap up our deep dive into this fascinating and rapidly changing world.
It's wild to think, it might not even be about specific jobs changing or disappearing. This whole AI agent thing could, redefine what work even means. That's a really interesting thought. Yeah, will work become less about those routine tasks and more about creativity, complex problem solving, and those really human skills like empathy and relationship building? It's exciting, but kind of scary to think about.
Definitely challenges how we think about, earning a living. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a chance to rethink work completely. Make it more, I don't know, fulfilling, more about what makes us human.
Yeah, there was this one point in our research that really stuck with me. It said that focusing on potential job losses kind of misses the point.
Yeah.
We should be asking, what big problems can AI agents help us solve?
Oh, that's a good question.
Can we use them to improve healthcare, make education better, boost environmental sustainability, maybe even tackle things like poverty and inequality?
Now that's a whole different way of looking at it. Instead of being scared of robots taking our jobs, we could be figuring out how to work with AI to make the world a better place.
Exactly. And that's where all those ethical things we talked about become even more important. We have to make sure AI agents are developed and used the right way, so they benefit all of humanity, not just a few.
So it's not just about how cool the tech is, it's about making sure it's used for good.
That's it. AI agents could be incredibly powerful tools, but just like any tool, they can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to guide their development and make sure they're used ethically and responsibly.
Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff, the potential problems, and all those ethical considerations. We've even talked about what people and businesses can do to get ready. But before we finish up this deep dive, I want to go back to the agent mesh one more time. You gave us that retail example. Can you give us one more, maybe in a different industry, just to really show the potential of this interconnected network of AI agents?
Sure, let's take healthcare, for example. Imagine a patient goes to see their doctor. The doctor's AI agent has access to all the patient's medical history, and it's getting real-time data from, wearables and stuff. And it sees something that might be a problem. So it gets in touch with a specialized diagnostic AI agent, which analyzes all that data and recommends some tests. Then, the results of those tests are sent back to the doctor's AI agent, and also to a treatment planning AI agent, which then works with a whole bunch of other agents like specialists, pharmacists, even insurance providers, and they all come up with a personalized treatment plan for the patient.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is,
It
right?
makes healthcare so much more efficient, more
And
personalized.
proactive, too.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's just one tiny example. The possibilities with the agent mesh are pretty much endless.
We've covered a lot of ground today. AI agents, their capabilities, their impact on businesses, and what they could mean for the future of work and society. It's clear that this tech has huge potential for both good and bad, and it's our job to shape how it all unfolds.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI is not set in stone. We have the power to make smart choices, guide its development in a responsible way, and ensure that it benefits everyone.
That's a great point. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI agents. Keep learning, keep asking those questions, and keep having those important conversations about the role of AI in our lives. Until next time, stay curious.